Dromey's pub in Dromcarra for another one of tonight's another session of entertainment and cultural activity. Good evening and welcome to local television. Tonight we feature another evening of song and dance in that we have come down to Nicholas Dromey's pub in Dromcarra, and over the course of the next couple of hours we have a fabulous lineup of musicians and entertainers, and to open tonight's show we have three musicians: Diarmid McSweeney on the accordion, John Hoare on the fiddle, and Andrew O'Connell from Kilnamartyr on the banjo. And it's over to them now to start the night's entertainment. Now, our thanks there to John Hoare and Andrew O'Connell, and of course earlier on they were joined by Diarmaid McSweeney, three excellent musicians. Now for our first singer of the night, and who better than Jerry O'Riordan of Riordan's Fancy, and Jerry is going to give us two numbers. First of all, the Red Rose Cafe, and then Grace. So it's over now to Jerry O'Riordan.
Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, down at the port just outside Amsterdam, everyone shares in the song and the laughter. Everyone there is so happy to be there. They come from the field, the factory too, and soon they don't know who they are. The cares of the day are soon washed away as they sit on a stool by the bar. The girl with the green eyes and the Rolling Stone shirt doesn't look like she works on the land. But a man at the end, he's a very good friend of a man who sells cars second hand. Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, down by the port just outside Amsterdam, everyone shares in the songs and the laughter. Everyone there is so happy to be there. The sailman's relaxed when a few pints of beer, and they try not to speak about trade. The poet won't write any verses tonight, he may sing us a sweet serenade. If you like it here, sure I have an idea, tomorrow let's all meet again. So pull up a chair, forget about life. It's a nice thing to do now and then. Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, down by the port just outside Amsterdam. Everyone shares in the songs and the laughter. Everyone there is so happy to be there. Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, there by the port just outside Amsterdam. Everyone shares in the songs and the laughter. Everyone there is so happy to be there. Down at the Red Rose Cafe in the harbour, there by the port just outside Amsterdam. Everyone shares in the songs and the laughter. Everyone there is so happy to be there. Everyone there is so happy to be there. Thank you. We gathered in the chapel here in old Kilmainham, James. I think about these past few weeks, or will they say we failed? From our school days they have told us we must yearn for liberty. Yet all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me. Let's hear, lads. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn, and I must die. With all my love I place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Oh, I know it's hard for you, my love, to ever understand the love I bear for these brave men, my love for this dear land. But when Paul recalled me to his side down in the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed. To him I had to go. Oh, grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn, and I must die. With all my love I place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. And as the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this May morn, as I walk out, my thoughts will be of you. And I'll write some words upon the wall, so everyone will know a love so much that I could see his blood upon the rose. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn, and I must die. With all my love I place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn, and I must die. With all my love I place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Thank you.
Now onto the floor come 10-year-old Angela O'Sullivan and 9-year-old Grania Murphy, who are going to do some step dancing for us. So it's over to you, girls. Now here at Dromcarra, our first solo singer of the night, Teddy O'Riordan from Mount Music Tomes, and he's going to give us his rendering of Bunny Mary of Argyll. So it's over to Teddy O'Riordan.
I have heard the mavis singing, or a love song to the morn. I have seen the dewdrops clinging to the rose just newly born. But a sweeter song has cheered me at evening's gentle close, and I've seen an eye still brighter than the dewdrops on the rose. It's thy voice, my gentle Mary, and thine earthless winning smile, that has made this world an Eden. Bonny Mary of Argyle, though thy voice may lose its sweetness, and thine its brightness too, though thy step may lack its fleetness, and thine hair its sunny hue, still to me wilt thou be dearer, though all the world should own I have loved thee for thy beauty, but not for that alone. I have watched thine heart, dear Mary, and its goodness was the while that has made thee mine forever. Bonny Mary of Argyle. The northern lights of old Aberdeen mean home, sweet home to me. The northern lights of Aberdeen are what I long to see. I've been a wanderer all my life, and many are the sights I've seen. God speed the day when I'm on my way to my home in Aberdeen. When I was a lad, a tiny wee lad, my mother said to me, come and see the lights, those lights, my boy, they're bright as they can be. She called them the heavenly dancers, merry dancers in the sky. I will never forget the wonderful sight. They make the heavens bright. The northern lights of old Aberdeen mean home, sweet home to me. The northern lights of Aberdeen are what I long to see. I have been a wanderer all my life, and many are the sights I've seen. God speed the day when I'm on my way to my home in Aberdeen.
Now, Dromcarra is in the heart of Kilmichael Parish, and so far tonight nobody has mentioned the word Kilmichael, but Finbar O'Sullivan is going to rectify that right now as he sings for us, the boys of Kilmichael.
While we honour in song and in story the memories of Pierce and MacBride, their names are illumined in glory, and martyrs they long since have died. Oh, here's to the boys of Kilmichael, the brave lads so gallant and true, who fought neath the green flags of Erin, and they conquered the red, white and blue. Oh, here's to the boys of Kilmichael, the brave lads so gallant and true, who fought neath the green flags of Erin, they conquered the red, white and blue. On the 28th day of November, the Tans left the town of Macroom. They were armed in 2 cross defenders, and never expected their doom. They were on out the road to Kilmichael, they never expected to stall. They were there met by the boys of the column, who made a clear sweep of them all. Oh, here's to the boys of Kilmichael, the brave lads so gallant and true, who fought neath the green flags of Erin, and they conquered the red, white and blue. And the sun in the west it was sinking on the eve of a cold winter's day. The Tans we were wearily waiting rolled over the spot where we lay. We rattled our sabres and banners and on to the camp of grandeur. And we never drew rein till we halted at the faraway camp of grandeur. Oh, here's to the boys of Kilmichael, the brave lads so gallant and true. Oh, now who fought in the green flags of Erin, and conquered the red, white and blue. Oh, the palm trees wave on high along the fertile shore. Adieu, you hills of Kerry, I never will see you more. Oh, why did I leave my home? Or why did I cross the sea? Or to leave the small birds singing all around you, sweet Raleigh. All the palm trees wave on high all along the fertile shore. Adieu, you hills of Kerry, I never will see you more. Oh, why did I leave my home? Or why did I cross the sea? Or to leave behind the girl I'll find behind you, sweet Raleigh. For to leave behind the girl I'll find behind you, sweet Raleigh.
Now it's back onto the floor we go again with Deirdre Murphy, a 13-year-old girl from Dromey, who's going to give us the St. Patrick's Day set dance. So it's over now to Deirdre Murphy. Now, on we go with our next solo singer, that's Kevin Lynch. Kevin, who at the moment is living in Kilmurray, but who has just told me that he's originally from Tyrrelton. So Kevin is going to give us his rendition of Where My Eileen Is Waiting For Me. So it's over now to Kevin Lynch.
I am always light-hearted and easy, not a care in the world have I, for I know I am loved by a Colleen, and I could not forget if I tried. She lives far away o'er the mountains, where the little birds sing on the trees, in a cottage all covered with ivy. There my Eileen is waiting for me. And it's over the mountains, where the little birds sing on the trees, in a cottage all covered with ivy. There my Eileen is waiting for me. Well, the time I bid goodbye to Eileen, it's a time I will never forget, for the tears bubbled up from their slumbers. How I fancy I see them yet. She looked like the pearl in the ocean, as she wept her tale of love. And she said, my dear boy, don't forget me, till I meet here again or above. And it's over the mountains, where the little birds sing on the tree, in a cottage all covered with ivy, where my Eileen is waiting for me. And it's over the mountain, where the little birds sing on the tree, in a cottage all covered with ivy, where my Eileen is waiting for me. Thanks. Oh, the sun was sinking towards the westward, and the fleet was leaving Dingle Bay. I watched the men rowing their curraghs as they marked the fishing ground along their way. All through the night men toil until the daybreak, while at home their wives and sweethearts kneel and pray that God would guard them and protect them, and send them safely home to Dingle Bay. I see the green isle of Valencia, and I mind the caves around Lockheed, and gannets swinging with abandon as they watch the silver store that comes their way. And I also see a ship on the horizon. She is sailing to a country far away, and on board are exiles feeling lonely as they bid their fond farewell to Dingle Bay. In memory too I see the hill of Brandon, and the Isle of Inishmore seems far away. I am always dreaming of my homeland and the happy hours I spent on Dingle Bay. Now years have passed since I've come homeward, and time it has left me old and grey. I sit and muse about my childhood and the happy hours I spent on Dingle Bay.
Now it's back to music again. We go with Mrs. Foley and her version of the Boltady Quill. Now, in any night of entertainment, the Shanachie has always been an integral part of the entertainment, and we also have a Shanachie here tonight in the form of Teddy Lorden from Farden. So it's over now to Teddy for a story or two.
St. Patrick never went to Kerry. How could he, when the Cork people stole his donkey? And standing in a hill above Kanturk, with one wave of his hand, he said, Banim uim goler shir shiv. I bless ye all west from ye. And 'twas the fate that blew in the breeze through St. Patrick's hands that took root in the kingdom of Kerry, where it flourishes down to this very day. Oh, there were other places that didn't take root so handy, I can tell you. And when St. Patrick came first, there was no churches or cathedrals. Mass had to be said in a clearing in the wood, or by the holy well, with the birds singing overhead. And the first church that was built for St. Patrick was built by the Gubban Sayer. He was a pagan stonemason, a bit like myself. And the bargain was that St. Patrick would give him the fill of the church with grain. That was the bargain. And when the church was finished, the Gubban Sayer went to St. Patrick, and St. Patrick, clever enough, says, I'll fill that church up to the top with grain for you now, said he, if you can turn it upside down and make a vessel out of it, thinking that he had him flummoxed. But the Gubban Sayer was a magic man, and he and his tradesmen came together, and in no time at all they turned the church upside down, made a vessel out of it, and St. Patrick filled it up to the top with grain for him, and the Gubban Sayer drew it away to his own barn, and left the church as it was, standing on its head. And that's why you will hear that the church in Ireland is a bit upside down ever since. Time moved on, and the followers of the faith fell out. A cloud came over Europe, and they all broke up into their own sections, everyone thinking that they had the right addiction. And they fought, and there were persecutions. Oh, we done it to them over in Spain and elsewhere, and they done it to us here in Ireland. And 'twas the poor people that suffered in the penal days. There was no churches, they were all burned and shut down. And we were back again to St. Patrick's time, where Mass had to be said in a clearing in the wood, or in a big rock on the side of the hill they called Carrig on Appin. Only this time it was different, for the scouts were out to look out for the soldiers and their hounds. For at that time there was a great price in the priest's head, and as the poet once said, their hounds were trained to run alike on wolf or flyer, and in the bad weather Mass be said in houses in the remote parts of the valleys. And 'twas only the other day there I was reading where there was this man Douglas Appleyard gave down. There was a house over there in Farden where I'm living myself, and Mass used to be said there in secret on Sundays. And it's what they used to do there was they used to pull a curtain across in front of the altar, for fear that there'd be any flyby in the audience. It'd be short a few bob, and 'twould be handy money for him to sell the priest. Well, there was a raid in that house, and they all escaped, priest and all, except for two stragglers that were lazy getting off of their knees, and they were caught and hauled before the courts, and fined £40 a head for going to Mass. And I was saying this here to Nicholas Dromey, the local publican, he began to laugh. He said, fined £40 a head for going to Mass, to say. There's some of them around here now, he said, and if we gave them £40, they wouldn't go. And 'twas to commemorate the penal days that the stations were held in the Irish countryside, where the priest would come into the house twice a year to say Mass. And there was a station published one time for Nell the Diamonds. She married into a house where there was those two brothers. One of them got the land, and the other man had to immigrate. And he'd be back now in time for the station after 10 years in the Singapore police and a pension of £1 a day. This was the way back now, the time when you would bring home change out of a shilling after a day's carousing at Borrowdove Sports. And while he was in Singapore, he met up with this English lady, a lovely girl. Aren't they all nice? And she'd be staying with him in the house for a few weeks anyway. Well, that house, when his mother was alive, 'twas the talk of the parish. Oh, 'twas so clean and scrubbed and the dresser shining, you could eat your dinner off of the floor. That was before Nell the Diamond came into it. And to give you an example of Nell, a very careless person, she was like now that the clothes would be thrown on her with a hay fork. And she'd be sitting there by the fire, day in, day out, munching away, and the children lap-a-dolling around the floor, that kind of a person. And the people said, sure, how could you bring a priest into that house to say mass? How could you bring in that man from Singapore and his English wife? So they came into her and they cleaned and scrubbed the house. They whitewashed it inside and out. And they took out the grandmother's bed and they threw it outside in the hedge, tick and mattress. And they began to bait it with the handles of shovels and spades. And there was dust rising up out of it. And indeed some of the livestock. Well, that house, do not would like to mention the morning of the station, and green rushes thrown in all the muddy approaches to the door. The priest to be the first to walk on the green rushes, the same as the King of Tara used to walk on them when he'd come to visit a local chieftain long ago. Well, when Mass was said in the grace of God, glory be to him, was in the house, Nell said it that night that she'd throw a special party in honour of the man that was coming home from Singapore and his English wife. And we'll spare nothing, Nell says, thinking of herself, of course, because she was a woman with a false appetite. And she said she'd like to have lots of that shaky, shivery stuff that you'd eat with a spoon, jelly and trifle. And when she was making it that evening about 3 o'clock, didn't she forget the little hundredths and thousands that you put on top of the jelly and trifle? So she dispatched the husband off into town, and I don't know what kind of a message she gave him, because when he went into town, that's what he was looking for, was little baleens for to shake and shivery stuff. Little baleens for to shake and shivery stuff, so they didn't know what he was talking about. But he ended up that evening in a bicycle shop, where he got a carton of ball bearings. He took home the ball bearings and he shook them on top of the jelly and trifle. Sure, Nell was too busy to see what was happening. Well, that night after the supper, oh, basins of that stuff was handed out. Some people go mad for that, you know. They were spooning it into their mouths until all of a sudden they found these hard things under their teeth that they couldn't chew. And they couldn't too very well spit them out. And the English lady and all there. Although some of them were clever enough, they were putting their hand up to their mouth like that, by the way they were talking to the cat. And they were saying, will you goat, cat, goat, goat, you whore. And they were going out in the air to see what the night was doing. And with the dire pains they had in their lower regions, they could hardly stand up straight. And there was those two women, they met at the well the following morning. And one woman says to the other woman, tell me, says she, did you partake of any of that trifle at Nell the Diamond's last night? I did, says she, and I'm the sorry person. Oh, I'm the sorry woman I ever stuck a spoon in it. I'm up and down out of the bed all night. Himself was going to send for the priest for me. Had it any effect in you? The other woman said, dealing a smirrer, wah, says she, I thought of the appendicitis I was getting. And all night long I was praying to God with respect to you to give me the grace to break a little wind. Because I thought it might bring me relief. And in the morning, my prayers were answered. I bent down to light the fire, and I broke wind and shot the cat.
Now, after that entertaining story from our Shanachie, Teddy Lorden, we move along with another singer, Tom Cronin, and Tom is going to sing a very old song for us.
I anguish my state here in jail, I am pining, while the sorrow of fate round my young neck is twining. My spirits are all gone, and my cheeks sunk in sorrow, as I anguish in chains in the jails of Clonmallow. Not a boy in the village than me could be milder. I could play with a child, oh, my sport could be wilder. I could dance without retiring from night until morning, while a hull ball I'd strike like a lightning from heaven. Next Sunday at home, when the pattern will be keeping, all the boys of the village through the fields will come sweeping, and to dance with a fair maid each evening would follow. This heart once so gay is now cold in Clonmallow. At my bed foot neglected, my heart it is lying, while my ball amongst the boys of the village is now flying. My horse amongst the neighbours neglected would follow. This heart once so gay is now cold in Clonmallow. Nearby in the village than me could be milder. I could play with a child, and my sport could be wilder. I could dance without retiring from night until morning, but the hull ball I'd strike like a lightning from heaven. Next Sunday at home, when my funeral will be leaving, All the boys of the village round my coffin will be weeping, with my whole bed and ball in my coffin for a pillow. I will no longer stay in the jails of Clonmallow. Are we there? Now MacBreen, the two daughters, and each one in turn, were offered in marriage to James Auburn. Now Kitty was pretty and Jane she was plain. To make up the differ, MacBreen would explain. He'd give the best heifer he had in the land as a sort of a bonus, would Jane understand? Now Kitty would charm the birds off a bush, and that left the lad in a horrid nonplus. There was no denying Kitty was remarkably pretty, and I can't say the same for Jane. So whether there's a differ in the price of a heifer, a thing that he never could explain. Now entirely bothered was James Auburn. He said that he'd give the schoolmaster a turn. He said to wed Kitty would surely be fun, but a heifer is a heifer when all's said and done. A girl might lose her good looks anyhow, and a heifer might grow to an elegant cow. So Jim said he'd wait till the end of the year, and Jane had a face that the devil designed. There was no denying Kitty was remarkably pretty, and I can't say the same for Jane. So whether there's a differ in the price of a heifer, a thing that he never could explain. Now the schoolmaster said, with a great deal of sense, we'll reduce the two girls to shillings and pence. And he didn't, by Jane he'd be bound, would come out and top by a pottle of pound. But then that he said, while down in Glengall, the stock they were going there for nothing at all. So Jim said he'd wait till the end of the year, when girls are cheaper and stock might be dear. But when he came for Kitty, she was married to MacVitty, and MacBreen had appropriated Jane. So whether there's a differ in the price of a heifer, 'tis a thing that he never could explain.
Now here at Nicholas Dromey's in Dromcarra, we come to the highlight of the evening with the Michael O'Leary set dancers. That's very, right, after that fantastic set dancing from the Michael O'Leary troupe of set dancers, we move now to our first lady singer of the night, Kitty O'Sullivan, who's going to sing One Day at a Time, and she's going to be accompanied by Michael Smith.
I'm only human, I'm just a woman. Help me believe in what I could be and in all that I am. Show me the stairway that I have to climb. Oh Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. And so for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. Do you remember when you walked among men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, it's worse now than then. They're pushing and shoving and crowding my mind. And so for my sake, Lord, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. And so for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. And so for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. Come, my little son, and I will tell you what we'll do. Undress yourself and get into bed, and a tale I'll tell to you. It's all about your daddy, he's a man you seldom see. For he's had to roam far away from home, away from you and me. Remember, laddie, he's still your dad, though he's working far away. In the cold and the heat of the hours of the week on England's motorway. When you fall and hurt yourself and you are feeling bad, it isn't any good to go out running for your dad. For the only time since you were born he's had to spend with you. He was out of a job and he hadn't a bob. He was signing on the brew. Remember, laddie, he's still your dad, though he's working far away. In the cold and the heat, all the hours of the week, on England's motorway. Sure we'd like our daddy here, yes, sure it would be fine to have him working near our home and with us all the time. But beggars can't be choosers, so we'll have to bear the load. For we need the money your daddy earns for working on road. Remember, laddie, he's still your dad, though he's working far away. In the cold and the heat, all the hours of the week, on England's motorway. In the cold and the heat, all the hours of the week, till he's built a motorway.
Now back we go to some singing again, and this time it's Donny O'Brien.
Let grasses grow and waters flow in a free and easy way, but give me enough of the real old stuff that's made down yonder way. Now peelers all from Donegal, Sligo and Leitrim too, we'll give them the slip and we'll take a sip of the real old Mountain Dew. Hi, the diddly idle dull, diddly dull, the diddly dull, diddly dull, dull, diddly all dee. Hi, the diddly idle dull, diddly dull, the diddly dull, diddly dull, dull, diddly all dee. At the foot of the hill there's a neat little still where the smoke curls up to the sky. You could easily tell with the whiff of the smell that there's whiskey brewed close by. It fills the air with a perfume rare, and between both me and you, when home you roll, come and take a bowl of the real old Mountain Dew. Hi, the diddly idle dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, dull, diddly all dee. Hi, the diddly idle dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, dull, diddly all dee. Now, learned men who use the pen and have wrote the praises high of the sweet poteen from Ireland's green, distilled from wheat and rye. Away with pills, it will cure all ills of the pagan, Christian or Jew. Take off your coat and free your throat at the real old Mountain Dew. Hi, the diddly idle dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, dull, diddly all dee. Hi, the diddly idle dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, diddly dull, dull, diddly all dee. Hi.
Right, now next on our show tonight, it's Frank Lynch from Tyrrelton. Oh, sir.
We're the sporting boys of Musgrove. We're the topic of the day. At a recent hunt we did confront most glorious display. We rose a hare from cover at a place called Lisnagal, and towards the abandoned river her course she took from that, and the horn sounded sweetly over hills and valleys round, re-echoed by the music of the Musgrove sporting out. By Scartnamo Carcour she took, and home by Scariff Plague, and we heard shouts from bison men, poor pussy has been slain. And the horn sounded sweetly over hills and valleys round, re-echoed by the music of the Musgrove sporting out. Then while returning homeward, delighted with our day, then suddenly from off a fence pop Reinhard and away. Our sport resumed once more again. We cried right tally-ho, and down for Captain Harrick's Glen he rapidly did go. 'Twas there he thought he ground himself, but he was mistaken there. For long he had a burrow shot, and there was no time to spare. For coming on behind him was that long, loud, roaring yell. Like vengeance he was coming, like a demon out of hell. And on and sounded sweetly over hills and valleys row, re-echoed by the music of the masquerades boarding out. He crossed the country westward, direct for Bilnablow. And we had shouts from boys and men, the masquerade boys around, and dance sounded sweetly over hills and valleys round, re-echoed by the music of the masquerade boreal. Come over the hill to my bonny blue-eyed love. Come over the hill to your darling. You'll choose the road, and I will make a vow that I'll be your true love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley, clear is the water that flows from the vine. But my love is fairer than I. 'Twas down by Killarney's green grove I did stray. The moon and the stars, they were shining. The moonbeams shone down her head of golden hair, and she vowed she'd be my love forever. Red is the rose that on the garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley, clear is the water that flows from the vine. But my love is fairer than any. It's not for the parting of my sister Kate. It's not for the loss of my mother, but it's all for the loss of my bonny blue-eyed love that's leaving old Ireland forever. Red is the rose that yon from the garden grove. Fair is the lily of the valley, clear is the water that flows from the vine. But my love is better than honey. You know it.
Now, as we're coming to the end of the night here, we have about just a few more minutes to go. But our second last artist of the night is Nora Horgan from Tomes, and Nora is going to sing the White Rose of Athens.
The summer days are ending in the valley, and soon the time will come when we must be apart. But like the rose that comes back with each springtime, you will return to me when springtime comes around. Till the white rose blooms again, you must leave me lonely. So goodbye, my love, till then, till the white rose blooms again. The autumn leaves are falling in the valley, and soon the winter snow will lie upon the ground. And you must make your journey to the city, but you'll return to me when springtime comes around. Till the white rose blooms again, you must leave me lonely. So goodbye, my love, till then, till the white rose blooms again. Goodbye, till then. The night was dark and the fight was ended. A light shone down O'Connell Street. I stood alone where brave men perished. Those men have gone their God to meet. My only son was shot in Dublin, fighting for his country bold. He fought for Ireland and Ireland only. The harp, the shamrock, green, white and gold. The first I met was a grey-haired father searching for his only son. I said, old man, there is no use searching, for up to heaven your son has gone. My only son was shot in Dublin. Dublin, fighting for his country bold. He fought for Ireland and Ireland only. The harp, the shamrock, green, white and gold. The next I met was a dying rebel. Bending low, I heard him say, God bless my home in dear Cork City. God bless the cause for which I die. My only son was shot in Dublin, fighting for his country bold. He fought for Ireland and Ireland only. The harp, the shamrock, green, white and gold. The harp and shamrock, green, white and gold.
Come on, Nick.
An old man gazed on a photograph in a locket he wore for years. His nephew then asked him the reason why. This picture, it brought him tears. Come listen, he said, and I'll tell you, lad, a story that's strange but true. Your father and I at school one day met two little girls in blue. Two little girls in blue, lad. Two little girls in blue. They were sisters, we were brothers. We learned to love the two. One little girl in blue, lad, stole your father's heart, became your mother. I married the other, and now we have drifted apart. This picture is one of these girls, he said. To me she was one so wise. I taught her unfaithful, we quarreled, lad. We parted one night for life. My fancy liberty won a heart that was strange but true. But two better girls never lived than they, those two little girls in blue. Two little girls in blue, lad. Two little girls in blue. They were sisters, we were brothers. We learned to love the two. One little girl in blue, lad, stole your father's heart, became your mother. I married the other, but now we have drifted apart. I was dreaming of old Ireland, of Killarney's lakes and dells, I was dreaming of the shamrock and the dear old Shandon bells, when my memory suggested, in a vision bright and clear, all the strange things that would happen if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out on Sydney Harbour, and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters, and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out on old Fremantle, and County Cork and Adelaide did appear, Erin sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home, if we only had old Ireland over here. There are lots of lovely colleens dancing on the village green. There are lots of lovely fairies, the finest ever seen, where the boys are all called Paddy and the girls all Molly dear. Sure, we'd wrap the green flag round them if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out on Sydney Harbour, and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters, and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out on old Fremantle, and County Cork in Adelaide did appear, Erin's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home, if we only had old Ireland over here.
And of course the last singer you heard there was the proprietor of the place, Nicholas Dromey, who has been most hospitable here tonight to us, and we thank him for his generosity and kindness, and I'm sure we will be back shortly again. But to play us out tonight, we have all our musicians together, led by Finbar O'Sullivan, with a selection of songs.
While we honour in song and in story the memory of Piers McBride, the names of a patriot's glory, of martyrs their long since have died, forget not those boys who killed Michael, the brave that's so gallant and true, who fought 'neath the green flags of Erin and conquer the red, white and blue. The palm trees grave and high, along the fertile shore, and to your hills of Kerry I never will see you more. Why did I leave my home? Why did I pass the sea? To leave the small birds singing around the sweet rally. No more I see the shamrock, this precious star small, and to hear the reaper singing in the precious harvest mound. There's an end to every woe, there's a cure for every pain. The darling eye of my loved girl I never will see no more. The palm trees wave on high along the fertile shore. Come on, everybody. Along your hills of Kerry I never will see you more. Why did I leave my home? Why did I cross the sea? To leave the small but singing around his sweet trolley. We're going to finish off this time with the Royal Trolley. Everybody know please. Everybody. The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was it lighting up like the blue sea. Hey! When I fell, crystal fountain that makes me love Mary, the Rose of Sally.
Lovely and fair,
Like the roses of summer, the Lord of our beauty, alone that wouldn't be. Oh no, it was the truth in our eyes ever dawning that makes me love Mary, the Lord of Tranby, the pale moon. Lovely and fair like the roses in summer, alone what our beauty, alone that would me. Oh no, it was a star in our heart ever dawning that makes me love Mary, the Vale of Sally. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we have to go. I think Dan just said, fall. I thought they all in Garen, been the stone. I thought they all left boy, been the vessel, until I ginger farce. Erante pentir la pensa ando en seventh avenue en benante e kemta se arang pabele selne aranavir. Thank you very much, Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much,